What's going on, everybody? It's Cody. Welcome back to the channel. 3-game Wnba slate, $20,000 to first. They actually upped the entry fee for the big contest up to $20. 20K to first. Pretty good contest. Cannot complain about 20K. So let's look at my main lineup for tonight. I did enter the 150 max mini, but this is the main lineup that I put in the big contest. I gotta start. I hate that Cameron Brink got hurt. That's never want your value play to get lucky that way with an injury. I hope it's nothing serious. Worry. I don't know if it's her ankle or her knee, but she was not feeling well. She was screaming. But I did play. I did end up going to Uru over Phoebich. Got lucky there. Bree Jones playing well, pretty big chalk. Hasn't updated yet. I think there's like 4 minutes left in the third when I'm making the video. Ty Harris, I ended up playing her over Dejanay. Dejanay's looking a little better right now, but I was high on both of them. And then obviously I loved Sabrina, JJ, and I'm high on Brittany Griner. I think she's going to have a great game. We'll see how it ends up later on, but let's look at the odds for these 3 games, and then we'll get into breaking them down team by team. Mystics at the Fever, 4.5 point spread, over under 166. Dream at the Lynx, 8 point spread, over under 162. Storm at the Aces, 5.5 point spread, over under 169.5. A nice little spread of games. You got one starts 6 Central, one starts at 7 Central, one starts at 9 Central. So I like that better than 1 at 6 and 1 at 9. I would rather like 6 and 8. Just where you can watch each of them. You don't have a little gap in between, but I'm just cherry picking. So on the Washington side, Atkins, 9,500. Price is a bit steep, but she has been playing better of late. I mean, obviously you can't expect her to shoot 9 of 13 again, but the shot attempts are there. The chances are there. She's the number 1 on their offense, so I have no issues going to her, especially in tournaments. I will definitely have some exposure to her. Aaliyah Edwards all the way up to 8,600. She's fine. The usage is there. I mean, this game you gotta kind of have to throw it out the window. She had massive foul trouble. Wasn't doing much of anything there, but she's going to play right around 30 minutes. She's a good rebounder. Got some stock upside. Obviously can put the ball in the basket. If she gets going, this is a good matchup for her. So I do have some interest in Aaliyah Edwards. Hines Allen and Dolson, really hard to get to just with their prices. I mean, Hines Allen, 7,300. She may push for around 20 minutes, but her floor is like single-digit fantasy points, so really hard to trust her. Dolson had a decent game last time out, shot 2 of 11. There is some upside there. I'm not expecting 11 peripheral stats again, but you can take shots on both of them in tournaments. Austin, they just need to shut her down for the season. The season's lost anyway. No reason, especially with a hip. You can't take chances on hips. Van Loo, 6,700. She's fine. Played 24 minutes last time out, 18 fantasy points. She's going to get you some peripheral stats. All depends if she's hitting her threes, if she can really have a good game. Katie Lou, I always get those two mixed up. Carly Samuelson, she's going to take some shots. She is just not going to offer much in the peripheral stats unless you get the luck sack 10 peripherals here. Hard for her to get to 20 fantasy points because she typically doesn't score in double figures, and when she does, it's 11 or 12. She's fine taking shots on in large field tournaments, but not someone I think you could full fade, like especially in single entry or 3 max, maybe even 20 max. Walker Kimbrough, 21 minutes, just didn't do much with them, but the minutes are there at that price point. I think she's viable. Melbourne, 3,800. Minutes were there. She had a good game, did not shoot the ball well. Don't mind her as a punt value. Inksler and Richards just not getting enough run. I mean, Inksler is getting pushed. She got pushed here because of the blowout. She played an extended rotation against Chicago. Just not someone I'm ever going to click. Didi's just not getting any run at all. On the Indiana side, Boston took some super serum. She is back. She's been incredible the last 3 games. 42, 49, and 52. Taking a bunch of shots. They're finally starting to run the pick and roll and just featuring her and Caitlin Clark. And it's working. Shocker. Can't believe it took them this long into the season for them to start doing that. Just been dominating on the glass. She looks like she's a lot more aggressive now. I don't know if like she wasn't in shape to start the season or what, but she's playing a lot more aggressive and she's being more physical. That's what she needs. I mean, she's a good player. She just needs to be more physical. She gets out physicaled by almost everyone, and it's nice to see her buck up and show that she can do it. Price isn't that bad. I mean, 10-1. She obviously has shown 50 fantasy point upside. The matchup is great, so I have no issues playing Aaliyah Boston. Caitlin Clark, sub 10K. I always have interest in someone with this much peripheral upside. 17 peripheral stats last game to go with 23 real life points. She just has a massive, massive ceiling that truly I don't know if we've seen it yet. I think she could get 60 plus in a game, maybe even come close to 70 if she shoots the ball well and she just gets on a heater. She has a knack to get the peripheral stats. That's what you want in a floor. I love Clark for tournaments. I love Nalissa Smith for tournaments. 8,500, she was in some foul trouble. It did cost her a couple minutes, and she still played 30 minutes. She played well battling with Angel Reese last time out. I like the spot for her here. You just always worry about her getting benched if she's not showing effort on the defensive end. That's the only worry with her. Kelsey Mitchell, 8K, really scoring dependent. You can play her in large field tournaments and hope she just shoots the lights out, but not someone I'm ever like rushing to play. Christy Wallace, 5,500. She's fine. Obviously, like 19 minutes is not ideal. The floor was pretty low to 0 points. But she's playing around 20 minutes, maybe even more if she plays well. I mean, she can get pushed to mid-30s minutes if she's playing well. And at 5,500, I mean, you could do worse. Katie Lou, I got it right this time, played really well. She's had 2 good games back-to-back. She's shooting the 3-ball really well the past couple games. That's where she's going to make her money, is if she's going to get wide open looks at 3 because everyone's focusing on Boston, Nalissa, Clark, and she's just going to get open looks. If she hits them, she can pay that salary off for sure. Wheeler, her minutes are trending in the wrong direction. 11 minutes, 1 fantasy point. Just not someone I can recommend playing. They actually gave Lexi Hull extra run over Erica Wheeler. She saw 21 minutes last time out. Only 7.75 fantasy points, but the minutes are huge for someone that's 3,500. She's practically free. Grace Berger did not play. Celeste Taylor did not play. And Saxton did not play. I'm not expecting any of those 3 to play unless we have a blowout or something. Grace could play, but it's not shown. I mean, she's DNP'd in multiple games in a row. So if she plays and some random person binks with her, congratulations. You can play Lexi Hull for $200 more who you know is going to get minutes. So that's just the way I would go. Atlanta and Minnesota on the Atlanta side. Ryan Howard is once again sub 10K. Obviously, I played her when she was 9,900 and she shot 4 of 15. Did play 35 minutes. Had a little bit of an injury scare. Shot 1 of 7 from 3. Oh, I'll be going right back to her. I love me some Ryan Howard. She's arguably my favorite player in the WNBA. I just love the upside that she has. If the peripherals are ever there, we know what she can put up in the real-life scoring category. I just love her upside. Anytime she's under 10K, I'm going to have a lot of interest. Tina Charles, great game last time out. When she wants to, she can still go, even at her age. They need her in this matchup. This Minnesota is not an easy team to play against. she's a great tournament play. Sub 9K, I love the price tag for her. Alicia Gray, 8,100 is fine. She's really scoring dependent, but she has shown a little bit of a peripheral floor of late. She was really good at getting peripherals last year, but has not been near as solid as last season. So she's fine. 8,100, much more of a tournament play. Cheyenne Parker, 7,700. One game after coming off the bench and putting up her best game of the season. This last time out, she plays 15 minutes and puts up 15 fantasy points. She's about a fantasy point per minute player, but the minutes are everywhere. Who knows what she's going to play, how many minutes she's going to get. Best of luck, assuming she still is coming off the bench, because let's talk about Nia Coffey and her 10 minutes, starting, mind you, and 1 fantasy point. 1. I don't know if they continue to start her or if they go back to Cheyenne Parker or if they go to Naz Hillman. Naz played really well. I mean, she played 22 minutes, 16.75 fantasy points, shot 1 of 5. She was pitching in everywhere. Would like her if she starts. If Nia Coffey does not start, she is absolutely a full fade. I don't care if you're playing 10 lineups, 1 lineup, 150 lineups. And even if she starts, my interest is low because they've already shown that they will yank her quick if she's not playing well. Haley Jones, though, minutes have risen a lot lately. 33, then 26. She did not play well in these 26 minutes, but she's out there. 16 fantasy points, 12 fantasy points. She's fine. I just don't think I could ever play her. It's a tough matchup. Dangerfield, minutes have went way down, sub 10 minutes in the past 2 games. Really hard to trust her. Who knows? Her minutes might skyrocket back up if Haley Jones really struggles, but it's hard to trust. You can never know what they're going to do. No interest in Kabaj or me here. On the Minnesota side, Fee, 11-7. Not much needs to be said. 37 fantasy points in 36 minutes, and she shot 5 of 17. Love the usage, love her upside. The matchup is good, so I'm very high on Fee here. McBride at 10K. Price is back up. She put up 37.5 against Dallas in the showdown on Monday night. The peripherals were there. She had 11. I've said this over and over. She's more of like a 6 to 7 peripheral night. And then if she does not shoot well, she can kill you at 10K. She's a tournament play only. Alana Smith, 9K. She's fine. She's been really, really consistent of late. I mean, 32, 30, 33, 30, 38 in the last 5. She's going to play right around 30 minutes. She saw 38 minutes against Dallas. That was because Carrollton was out. They needed her out there, and she was playing well. If Carrollton is out, you could expect Alana to play a few more minutes. But I believe Carrollton's already been announced as probable. Yeah, she's already probable. So I would expect Alana to play around 30 minutes. Courtney Williams only saw 26 minutes. Shot poorly and did not have the peripherals that she normally has. That's where she's going to make her money, is if the peripherals are there and her scoring's there, she can have a good game. If they're not, she might be limited. I have zero interest in playing Natisha Heidemann at 7,600. Just absolutely zero interest. Dorka at 7,400. You cannot play her with Carrollton back, assuming Carrollton starts. I mean, Dorka's going to go back to playing like 15 minutes. She played really well against Dallas, but coming off the bench, you just can't pay that price tag for her. Carrollton, I do have some interest in, assuming she's not on a minutes limit, which I wouldn't expect since she just missed the 1 game. I'm expecting her to play low 30s minutes, needs to hit her shots to hit value, but the minutes are going to be there for her. Xander Lassini's minutes were trending in the wrong direction with Carrollton out there. Fufa, really hard to trust. Both of them, if you want to take shots in large field, you can. No interest in Kone or Peely. Last game of the night, Seattle at Las Vegas. On the Seattle side, Jewel Lloyd, 10.3K. Shot 3 of 15 last time out. 0 of 6 from 3. One of the worst games she's had all season, but the usage is always there. She's going to shoot the ball, no matter if it's going in, air balls, it doesn't matter. She's going to shoot it. I like the matchup for her. she has big upside here. I love her for tournaments. Ezzy, love the spot for her. She's been fantastic pretty much all season, just getting a ton of stocks. Big rebound upside. If she scores in double figures, she's probably getting you over 40. NECA, super consistent at 9K. I love the price tag on her, assuming she can stay out of foul trouble. Guarding Asia. Skylar Diggins-Smith, 9,300. Love the price tag on her. We know the usage is just dominated by the big four here. But we do need to mention Horston, who somewhat separated herself from the other two. Saw 33 minutes against Phoenix. Played really well. 33 fantasy points. 7 stocks. I'm not expecting that again, but I'm hoping she kind of separates from Vivians and Whitcomb, just because she's the best of the bunch in my opinion, and I'd love to see her get extended and get some more run. I'd love to see her starting with these four, but I kind of think they like having her run the second unit. Vivian's at 4,300. Only saw 7 minutes last time out. She's been rough most of the season. She'll have a good game every now and then, so you can take shots on her in large field. Whitcomb saw 13 minutes. She's fine. Obviously, hard to trust really any of them. You hope Horston gets the minutes, but she might go back down to her 18 to 20, 5,300. She can pay that off, but really you want to see her expand the gap and start to take over that fifth starting spot away from Vivians and Whitcomb and separate from those two before you really start playing her a lot. Russell will be back. They've already said that she's not on the injury report. She's going to play around 10 minutes off the bench. You can play her. She's not a good fantasy point per minute player, but if you need somebody sub 4K, she's in play. No interest in Holmes, Williams, Turner, or Mule. They're just not going to get enough run. On the Aces side, Asia Wilson at the top, 12-1. We saw against Seattle, they tried doubling her a lot. They would throw Ezzy and NECA at her and just leave Kia Stokes wide open, and she couldn't make a shot. She's shot 8 of 20 against them in 36 minutes, 50 fantasy points. So even with them throwing double teams at her, she was still putting the ball in the basket. That's what you want to see out of her. Obviously, best player in the WNBA right now. Not much needs to be said. If you have the salary to play her, you probably should just play her. Jackie Young, sub 10K. I'm going to have interest. She's just playing big minutes. I would expect her to play mid-30s with the potential to touch 37, 38 if the game stays competitive. Big peripheral upside. Pretty solid scoring upside. We're going to talk about Chelsea Gray here in a minute. I think that's going to open the offense up a lot for Jackie Young and Kelsey Plum. Speaking of Kelsey Plum, they are pricing her to where you almost are forced to play her at 8,400. She can get there just on her scoring upside alone. She can pay off this salary just on scoring alone. The peripherals have not been that great this season, but I think with Chelsea Gray back, I'm assuming she's going to start, play 15 to 18 minutes. I think it'll open up the offense for Plum and for Young where they're not saddled with bringing the ball up the court. And I'm really high on all of the Aces guards. I think Chelsea Gray is in play at 6,200. If we see how many minutes she's going to play, my guess is 15 to 18. If it's 12 to 15, it may be a little too risky to play her there. But we'll have updates, I'm sure, tomorrow sometime, hopefully before lock, and we can discuss it in the live stream. Tiffany Hayes, 6,100. If Chelsea Gray is indeed back and playing, my interest in Hayes is pretty minimal. Clark would go back to the bench. My interest in her would be pretty minimal. She's more of a volume play. She had a good game last time out because she scored 13 real-life points. Her minutes would probably tick back down to around 20, maybe a little bit more than that. Hayes' minutes would go down to 12 to 15 off the bench. It would absolutely kill Kate Martin. I would have zero interest in her. Kia Stokes, 4,400. She's going to play around 20 minutes, assuming no foul trouble. 12 rebounds, 2 assists, and 2 blocks. She'll get you 22 fantasy points. 4,400 is cheap. She's going to have to be out there. Last time out against Seattle, she put up over 20 fantasy points. Don't mind her as a cheap option. I am excited for Sydney Colson, but with Chelsea Gray back, I just don't think you can go there. I don't think she's going to crack the rotation unless they just give her like one rotation over like a Kate Martin and DNP her. New player, they did get rid of Emma Cannon. Jessica Carter, great player. She averaged a double-double in college. I want to see if they're going to actually play her over Gus. They have just not been playing Gustafson at all. I mean, she played 1 minute against New York, 4 against Phoenix. I don't know if there's something like behind the scenes that they're just not wanting to play her. But Carter is a wait and see. I am excited to see what they do with her going forward, but really excited for this slate. If you guys enjoyed the content, leave a like. It really helps out the channel. Check out the live stream, live before lock. Every slate, there's more than one game. We have a bunch of fun. I go over the slate with a quick rundown, answer questions, help as many people as I can. But if you want to hit the subscribe button so you never miss a video, I would appreciate it. On the road to 500. But that's going to do it for me, guys. We'll see you tomorrow.